Yeah. So we'll start in one more minute. Yeah, so let's start. Um, so, how many of you were able to do all activities related to Jira? Can I see one ping done? That
fully completed. But the question is, it's already means the first step. What I've did, I've created an account in Jira, and now I see from the video, it's already showing that already some epic stories are created by the user.
yes.
So I'm not sure whether it's something imported to Jira from other source, like from Excel or something different source.
No. So yesterday's activity was to create the account and just explore
Mhm.
about epic story and task, right? Uh, but today's activity was to create the epic story and task which is related to your activity, so to your domain. So if you are
Uh-huh.
in QA, then what
Mhm.
would be the epic story and task for you, so that
Mhm.
you needed to create.
All right. So first create the user account in Jira. Then the task today is to create those epic stories based on the QA or Java developer, etc. Something like
Yeah,
this,
I
right?
mean that was the activity already. Some people have already completed, as per my information, who have already created their stories and tasks. But that's fine. I mean, we can anyway. We are going to go over now, and let's see if anybody in this group has completed, so that we can walk through, and remaining people can follow in that group. Fine.
Yep. Thank you.
So from UI team, that is React.js developers, right? Can you raise your hand who is there, who has completed the Jira setup? Anyone can volunteer, and we will walk through that Jira board, and I will just review that so that others can also follow that. React.js UI team. No one? Okay, so if no one is there, then in that case, what I would request, anyone, would you like to volunteer and share your screen from UI team? Come on, guys, this is your platform. No one. But you have to. I mean, anyone from UI team. I will guide you what you have to do. So you don't need to scare.
Okay.
So big hand for Fatima. She has volunteered. No one else. Yeah, please share your screen.
Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. So, as per my understanding, what I did was firstly I created a project from projects. I created a project,
Can
and
you speak outside? You have created Kanban board, is it?
sorry.
You have used Kanban.
Yeah, it was something Khan, and there was another one. I don't know much about that. I guess that's probably for like a support team and a project manager team, I guess.
So
So I use
we will use Scrum board, but that's fine.
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead. Whatever you have done, that we will go over. That's fine.
okay. So so we'll use SUP board.
No, no, not support, not Kanban. It will be Scrum.
Okay, okay,
So
okay. So
can you do one thing? Go to the top left
top left,
dot. Uh, Click on Jira software.
Jira software.
Okay. So I think this
Yeah.
project which you have created, that is based on your Kanban project. I think click on that. Click on that project.
Yeah, this is my project I created on board.
So you need to create it as as a Scrum board. Can you create one more new project?
Okay, so okay, I'll create another project. Uh,
Software development. Select
IT.
software development.
Yeah,
Select software
this
development
one.
on the left side.
Okay, software development and Scrum board.
Right.
Okay, you will need to.
Say company managed. That is default you take. Select company managed. GTS service platform.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
Okay, next.
Yeah. So your board is created. Project is created. So now you have to create
Okay,
the epics. Okay. So go to backlog.
backlog. Okay,
Yeah. And then you can
so create an issue.
yeah,
Like
in the
Epics is
top
selected. Okay,
first enable
I switch on the Epics. Yeah, I've enabled the Epics. Create an Epic.
create epic.
Okay, so this is no,
Yeah.
this
So
is
let me
a
give you
service
some overview.
platform.
Yes, service platform. Now let me tell you what are the
Yeah.
different activities you would start with. Okay. So as a DevOps engineer,
Okay.
as I mentioned yesterday, you have to look for what are the applications which you are going to deploy. That will be your first question.
Yes, sir. I have. Yeah, I have listed them in another like in my Word file.
Okay, can you open that?
You okay?
Perfect, very good.
So these were the application you uh, like as a DevOps engineer, we have to like create these application or like have architecture about these applications.
Right. So there could be so many different ways to organize it. Okay, but you don't have to be very strict or fixed rule that you can't proceed at all. Whatever you feel good and better, do it without any scanners. That is why you have your own account. You just play with it. Okay, and gradually things will come on its way, and we will have opportunity to correct, improve, delete, and change whatever we want. Okay. So
Okay.
let me give you
So
an overview for the benefit of others also. Okay. So first thing is what are the applications you are going to deploy. Okay. So you have this front end mobile app, backend integration, backend application, then cache mechanism, analytical tools, and database. So each one of them can be an epic. Okay. But there could be
Sir, I had a question that it was it a caste mechanism or cache mechanism?
cache, C-A-C-H-E,
Uh,
C-A-C-H-E.
okay,
So
okay,
different
okay.
people pronounce it differently. Some people say cache, some people say catch. So I say cache memory.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Each one of them will be one epic for you. Okay.
On Epic,
Just
Epic is selected. Yeah.
so put a short name of 2 3 words. For example, web application deployment. Okay. Then mobile app deployment. Then microservice deployment, cache mechanism, analytical tools, database, and another main and the topmost is infrastructure. Okay. So
Infrastructure.
yeah, infrastructure is different than your deployment.
Yeah.
First, you create the infrastructure, then you deploy your applications inside the infrastructure.
So this one, what are we will be creating in this one?
Yeah, I mean, just write down the another point, infrastructure. They don't get confused. And backend integration, you don't need to say backend integration. That third point, you just say microservice deployment. And infrastructure, keep it in another topic. Deployment.
Microservices deployment and infrastructure.
Yeah. And first one is a web application deployment. Then mobile app
Web
deployment.
application. Microservices deployment
Hmm.
and
Cache mechanism.
infrastructure,
Then
cache
analytical tools.
mechanism, yeah, and database,
Database. Okay. Then AI ML. Okay, so AI ML
AI,
and
machine learning.
they would go side by side together. Okay, and SageMaker you can say, but I mean that's fine. AI ML would represent it.
So like we can combine them together, right?
Yeah, yeah, that, that's fine.
So we'll remove this point.
Okay, so
Okay.
now
Yeah.
you are going to create Epic on each one of them. Okay, but first topic which you would start is infrastructure.
Infrastructure. Okay.
That will be your first
Uh,
topic to start. Okay, so now when you say infrastructure, what you are going to do is under that you are going to create different stories. Let's
okay.
mm, set it like this. So say VPC setup.
Where should I
Under
like write this
infrastructure, write some bullet points. I'll tell you.
in summary?
Under infrastructure.
No, no. I'm asking like in
No, under
description or in summary.
infrastructure, put some bullet points. You
Uh,
press enter after infrastructure.
okay, in Word file.
Yes, yes, here only.
Oh, okay, okay.
Here,
I'll make some mistake.
yeah. You can say VPC slash subnet setup.
Okay,
Okay. Then IAM roles.
I'm roles.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, let's start with these two only. Okay. And
Okay.
then, before that, there will be architecture. So the first point will be architecture, actually, architecture. Okay. So I'll give very easy ones so that it will be easy for you also to pick up and do. Okay. So your
Okay.
assignment will be come up with the architecture which will represent all these application deployments and their infrastructure.
Okay.
Combined together. And then you have your mind map how you are going to create the VPC and subnet setup with your IP ranges and all.
So we get VPC and subnets with IP ranges.
And create some IAM roles
Okay.
and explore Cognito if you feel it is relevant for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I think this would be good enough for tomorrow's activity.
Okay.
So once you do, then I will elaborate what you have to do for web application, mobile app, and each one of them one by one. But you create this structure, and then we'll follow in Jira for each of those epics, and under that epic, we'll create the stories for the remaining tomorrow.
So right now we have to like create virtual private clouds, sorry, VPS and subnets with different IP ranges and IAM roles and explore AWS Cognito and like architecture, like
So you can
we create them as a
uh,
service resources or like diagram or something as well.
diagrams. So think from different angles: physical architecture, your deployment architecture, or data architecture, whatever you feel relevant.
Okay.
So in if you explore in AWS, you will see all 50, 60 different services are there. Explore those services and see what all you can utilize. That will give a very tremendous knowledge on overall AWS services, and you won't be able to learn all the services, but you will have a very good background and concepts around it to start with. Okay, and then individually on those services we will go in detail and we will see how they are applicable in our application.
I have a question here that you said to like explore these services, but you also mentioned database. So I'm a little confused that uh, what do we have to do with like, for example, the database and these services combined together?
So database, when I say, so if you are talking about if we have a need for RDBMS, then RDS you will explore. And for NoSQLs, whatever we have, all different types, whether it is a document based, column based, or graph based, or memory based, all different types of NoSQL databases also you will explore, and you will see what are the NoSQL databases are being provided by AWS cloud, means the integration can be done, and the database which is provided by AWS itself with DynamoDB and all. So you would basically involved in a discussion with the developers, and especially Java developer or microservice developer, that what is that database which is going to meet their requirement. Okay, so this is a bit of architectural, though you guys are fresher, but I will give you some background around architect level of knowledge, so that it will be very easy why one architect says use DynamoDB or Redis or MongoDB or RDS, Oracle or something else. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, so I will guide you on that. But before I tell certain database to use, you explore yourself and come up with your recommendation. So that will help you to
Okay.
explore throughout the databases, and this will be very useful for, or must do for data scientist or data analyst guys. Okay.
Okay. So
From DevOps
like
point of
right
view,
now,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
No, I was just asking कि, that should we like insert this in Jira right now or not?
Okay, so let me refresh again. So what you are going to do now, you are going to create the epics 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These 7 epics you are going to create, right? And then for the first
Yeah.
epic infrastructure, you are going to create 3 stories.
Okay. So this is like basically epic, and these are the stories.
Stories for you, yeah. Again,
I'll
I will
just
repeat,
draw them.
it can be organized in so many different ways. So don't get into argument. Whichever you feel better for you, you can do it. Right. These are the stories. Now, if you are done with these activities, then you can elaborate this web application, mobile app, and other epics also, and you can put the stories under them.
Okay. Okay.
So I just gave you one sample example so that you can follow these guidelines to mature your other epics.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you are done, then do the real time implementation of architecture, VPC, and IAM nodes.
Okay.
Even if you are done, if you have more time, move on with the other epics and stories. So it will be unlimited learning, boundless. As much energy and effort and time you have, you can continue and complete them that faster. And that is where it will distinguish you versus others. How much you
Okay.
are able to grab, how much you are able to do. Any other question? Anything else? Question from others on DevOps side? Are you all clear what needs to be done from DevOps?
Yes, sir, all clear.
Then let's go ahead with other team.
So
Uh,
I have a doubt.
yeah, please.
So what's the difference between stories and tasks? So it can be story task also.
Story is a defined as one independent component which is deployable and testable. That is how we define a story. Okay, and task is the individual activities which we need to do to complete that story. So, for example, for you, let's say you want to create one EC2 instance, let's say. Okay, so creating EC2 instance, I can create is as a story. Now, to create the EC2 instance, there could be multiple activities. So first thing is what all different configurations are required. For that, I need to have a discussion. I need to figure them out, set them up. I might need to create certain CLI or any other script which will be helping me to create that EC2 instance. After EC2 instance is created, I may write some unit test for that, and make sure that it is healthy and it is created. Okay, then after that creating, I would like to install some initial level of softwares into it. That also can be done. So these all would be one different activities under the story called setup EC2 instance. Does it answer?
So the task is the activities inside the stories, right, sir?
Correct.
So then do we need to mention under the IAM roles stories, right? So do we need to mention about the what are the roles we are assigning like that in the
That's correct. So under IAM roles, let's say you first thing is your discussion itself. What are the IAM roles are required? Okay, so it has to go through a discussion and documentation required. You have to document that. Okay. Once it is done, then you will create those IAM roles. So creating the IAM roles, see, IAM roles itself can be a task also, but since you are starting from the fresh, we will define it as a story. But going forward, when IAM role is a part of another story, then you can define it as a task. If you are new to IAM roles and you have to learn IAM roles first of all, then make it as a story, because you have to create task under that, saying, explore IAM roles, learn IAM roles, something like that.
Okay, sir.
Is it making
So,
sense?
do we need to create any task under that IAM role for now in Jira? Like,
Yes, you have to. So if
you
you
have.
know already what is IAM roles, then good. If no, then you can create a task called explore IAM roles, and then create IAM roles, and create IAM roles. Then you can say that for web application, what are the IAM roles are required? Discuss with the business analyst or UI developer. So within IAM roles, there will be multiple activities which will be coming. Then another could be like who all needs these IAM roles. You have to figure that out. So in case of IAM roles, it is not a very good example to do. But if you understood about the story which I told, set up EC2 instance, and to set up EC2 instance, what all different activities might come on the way. Those would be tasks for that.
Okay, sir.
But it is, again, it is not a fixed rule that is how you have to do it. Yeah, if you are very much comfortable already, then you can just define it as a task itself. Doesn't matter under certain stories.
So, sir, how we know that who are the developers and what are they need? We don't know
Yeah,
each other, right?
you will the upcoming days you will know. So and that will happen through this communication. So now everybody know Fatima is a DevOps engineer, right? And we'll be creating the groups, and we will put it in the Excel file with all the names who would be selecting and participating in this. So we'll be forming the group, and in that group, all the names, their contact numbers, and their role, everything will be mentioned. So that, and it will be shared with you, so who all are DevOps, who all are UI developer and microservice, like that.
Oh, okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question from anybody?
Sir, I had a question that let's say we are creating EC2 instance. So, like, where should we like write it? Where does it lie? Is it between like under the architecture, or it is a completely different story?
It will be completely different story. So
Okay.
first of all, you need to check whether you need a C2 instance or not,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that your architecture will tell that whether you need EC2 instance or not.
Okay.
Once it is decided, yes, you need it, then under infrastructure you can create a story for set up EC2 instance.
Okay.
But again, it is not mandatory that it has to be under infrastructure. It can be part of your web application or mobile app. So let's say I want to deploy the microservice in EC2 instance. So in that case, I can create the a story for EC2 instance under microservice deployment.
Yeah. Okay.
It is like, let's say you have a flat, you have all your household items in your rooms, and in your current setup, whatever is comfortable, you have organized them. But after a few months, you feel, no, no, my dressing table should be here, and cot should be here, and dining table or chairs should be here, sofa should be here. So you can reorganize them, right? But at the end,
Yeah.
you have to have you should feel good that you have a very good house, and all things are arranged properly. And if you think in reality, you change that arrangement, after certain interval of time. Whenever you have certain, special event, you feel to rearrange them, and everybody, someone gives some different idea, and you rearrange them. So it is same thing, like, all your activities which you are going to do, all the work which you are going to do, when you have the initial thought, initial ideas, you put it in certain order. After some time, when you feel that, no, if I arrange in this way, it will help me and my team, just go ahead and do that. So that is the flexibility agile gives you. And for that also we have a standard process, so we call backlog grooming, backlog refinement, etc. So through those processes we refine them on a regular basis, either weekly, 2 week, or alternate days, like that. So these all processes also I'm going to train you very closely, right? So I mean, so that you become very thorough about the software industry standards. Does it answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else on DevOps? Any point you want to bring? If no, then we'll move on with the other team. Uh, UI team who wants to volunteer. Nobody? Okay. Java team. Yesterday we saw there was no one, but a few people pinged me later on, and they said that they are interested in Java. So maybe this time is not suitable for them, so they could not join. Calling out if anybody wants to volunteer for Java. No. Okay. Data science. No one. So tell me, other than DevOps, which profile guys are there in this, so that we don't spend our time. All are DevOps, huh? Guys, most of them are DevOps. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so if all are DevOps, and if you don't have any question, then we can close the session very soon. Okay, so then I'm fine. I mean, so that's all about it. But I think there was QA guys. Okay, QA. Let's move on for QA, right? Who wants to volunteer for QA?
Now you said that under infrastructure, if we consider infrastructure as an epic, then architecture, VPCIM roles comes under stories. So now, when you said architecture, VPC, creating of subnets, and creating of IAM roles, I understood it. So, but
Your voice is breaking, Sanjay. Not able to hear you.
yeah, things we need to mention as stories. So,
Yeah, Sanjay, I'm sorry. Actually, I think there was network issue from my side. Can you repeat again?
sure, sir. So now, as you said, infrastructure, web app deployment, mobile app deployment, these are all epic. So if we consider those are epic, then architecture, VPC, subnet setup, IAM roles, this comes as a story for that epic.
Yeah,
So
I
what?
mean, as I mentioned, right, there is no fixed rule. I mean,
Uh,
you can organize of your own way what you feel flexible with. See, when you will join a company, there will always be a argument. Scrum master will think differently. Your product owner will think differently. Your team leads will think differently. Okay, but you have to agree upon with the majority. So I gave my view on it. Okay, that does not mean that is what you have to do it. If you have a better way or different ways of doing, go ahead. At the end, you have to organize all the work and activities within the system.
But the problem with me is actually today morning I took help from you to create the epic. So infrastructure, web app deployment, these are all epic.
Huh.
And when I think of this epic infrastructure, and
Hmm.
I did not get anything like to create VPC or IAM roles.
Hmm.
These can be come under
Go
the
on,
infrastructure.
share your screen.
So I have not anything, sir. It. I'm still.
So
So
don't
now
worry if you
for
are getting
mobile app
confused.
deployment.
Connect with me separately. I will walk
Okay.
you through and I will help you to clear your doubts.
Sure, sir, sure. Because microservice, if microservice is an epic, then what comes under story? Now I know VPC subnet setup, and but I didn't get. I
You don't have to create. You are a. Tell me, you are DevOps guy or
DevOps, sir, DevOps.
you are DevOps
I'm
guy,
for
right?
DevOps. Yes.
So if you are organizing based on the microservices and UI application, then as I mentioned just sometime back in the screen of Fatima, that EC2 setup you can put under your microservice epic,
Microservices.
correct?
Okay. Yeah.
So that infrastructure also can come under microservice epic,
Okay.
because when you are creating the infrastructure, sometimes it could be a single infrastructure which accommodates all, that includes microservice, web application, cache and other things also, or whatever databases and all. Sometimes you will have a separate account or infrastructure for only web application. Sometimes it is entirely independent only for microservices. Sometimes it is independent only for databases. So again, in the top level, how you are organizing all your sources, it depends
Mm.
on the organization's call.
Okay.
Okay, so these all depends on team, thought process of the management and leads, thought process of team member, right? So these all are dynamic. As I gave you the example how you arrange your house. So when your relatives will come, they may feel uncomfortable, or they may feel that okay, you should have organized in this way, it would look better. So always there will be different thought and view. But at the end, you need to make sure that you are able to achieve your goal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Anything else from anybody? So other than DevOps, nobody, huh, guys? And this all DevOps.
QA.
So Rafik, you are not there, is it? You went out for some time.
Yeah, I just lost the network, so
So, do you want to share your screen and let's review how the QA board should look like?
well, we can do that. But I now logged in from my office computer, so
That's fine. Then we will do that offline in
mhm.
some other time zone. Okay, time. So, again, let me tell you. Normally, in a project, you will not have a separate board for QA, separate board for your microservice and all. Sometimes it may be, sometimes it may not be. Okay, if your QA team is a entirely different vendor, let's say, sometimes in a project we outsource the testing work. So testing work is managed by a separate company altogether. So they will manage only the testing activities. So they will have their own Jira board to manage the testing. So in that case,
Okay.
microservice, web developer, DevOps won't be part of those. Sometimes within the same team I will have two member DevOps, two Java developer, two QA, to one BA. So in that case, within a single board I will have all epics and all stories. So there are so many permutation combinations which you should be aware of, so that you don't get into argument to unnecessarily spend time on that. Clear? Yes. Okay. So finally, anything else from anybody you want to bring up? You are clear on your activities? EPS? I will just give a guideline for other teams other than DevOps who are not able to meet. When you watch this recording, try to organize the epics and stories and tasks how it is being explained in your in the DevOps, and start working on your task. If you are a UI developer, then start building your UI, start building your requirement for your API specification. So UI developer need to know what API you need for your CRUD operations. If you are a Java developer, identify what all APIs you have to develop and start working on them. Okay, for QA team, start building your thought process to create the test cases and test scenarios to test that page for CRUD operations on invoice. So that will involve your UI testing and also API testing. And these all activities we are going to take you through in this session and evaluate you accordingly. Okay then. Thank you. Take care.